Alright everyone, welcome back to the Road 2000 series. Gonna play a 10-minute rapid game, trying different camera angles to see if I can find one that I like. And I get the black pieces against Stone Cold, 1501. So we're gonna play the handy dandy Caro Kann, coming into this game at 1477. Opponent's gonna play an advanced variation, so we're just gonna play like we usually do. Might get this right here, the tall variation. This is normal too. Okay, so do this right here so that we can take this if that happens, which it doesn't. Seems my opponent kinda has an idea of what they're doing, so we're just gonna play this, maybe something like this if he brings the bishop out, or even just taking at this point might be interesting. That's a interesting move. Okay. Well, let's just control this square right here, provide a little space for my bishop. And we are going to, I think, take towards the center. Okay. So, I feel like opponent's getting ready to play this move right here, so I could just do this, but I think then that it happens anyway. I guess in that way, there's like an open file. But yeah, no, that seems like it's okay for my opponent. So we're gonna try to avoid that. Now, we could do this. It's not the move that you ever really want to play, though. That's the thing. Okay. Yep. 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 So that's what my opponent wants. So I think what we're gonna do, I don't know, honestly, this is good. Um, this is where like theoretical understanding kind of ends on you. I'm not sure. What would Alex Banzea play? Maybe rook over? Yeah, let's bring the rook over. We're probably gonna see this move right here, and that's okay. If we get it with the bishop, then we're really okay. Then we're just gonna push the pawn. But we'll see. This leaves it up to the opponent. I just kind of take advantage of this open file that's going to open up here if the opponent does play this move. There is some logic, but I also don't like where my knight's going. I guess I could put it out here. Try to get it to this square. It's not the worst idea now that my rook is guarding that. So maybe if this happens, we do go out here and try to get to this square. That's an option. I'm not really sure what my opponent's playing. I've never really seen a variation like this in the Caro. I mean, obviously they advance, but never really seen these pawns kind of coming out here, and it makes me want to castle my king side because, well, I definitely don't want a pawn storm to be on my doorstep. All right, so sure. Now we can go here, and that does kind of, well, this is probably going to happen, isn't it? Yeah, so maybe we choose this time now to get our knight kind of out and into the game. I'm not sure if we really have any better moves. Yep, let's do it. We're going to try to get our knight out here. We also have a time disadvantage as always, so I'm going to try to work on just kind of getting some time back. There is this. Well, actually, no, we should be okay. Because once I go here, then my queen actually does see that square again. I just don't want to lose this bishop for this knight, because this knight's not very good. Neither knight is actually very good. I guess this knight at least has a future. But this knight is Right, he goes for it right now. I'm just going to drop the bishop back to this little home base here. Okay, so see, this knight does have a future. My opponent does kind of realize that. Now, should we just play this move right here and stop that forever? I think we're going to play a little defense and do that. Now, this right here, I can still go out here. It just kind of doubles my pawn, so I might not. I might just go back, as bad as that looks, and just use this knight for later. But we're just trying to get this going. See what opponent has to think. We do want to control this knight. That's the knight so basically we have both of his knights kind of pretty well controlled, which I feel is pretty good. The bishop right here is not doing much. This bishop is probably maybe, I mean, it just doesn't really have a good square right now. Maybe even just, I guess, calf. Oh, right. So the opponent does play that. Yeah, we're just not going to waste any time. We're not going to do this. We're not going to have our pawn get doubled. That would make no sense. So this knight's going to just go into purgatory until later. We're going to get this open file, and it's not really that bad. Just going to keep going with the theme. If opponent does this, we're just going to get the bishop out of the way, and then I'm not actually sure, honestly. I really don't want to go back home with this knight, so... Oh, well, actually, if I do leave this square, then I can come up here. Kind of relieve some tension. All right, so the time is getting more close to equal. The reason I just don't like that is just, I feel like if I blunder with little time, I just get upset, you know, and it's just like, well, dude, come on. Don't get into time trouble, obviously. But now we can't really do anything to undermine that, unfortunately. So we're just going to continue on with our plan. Well, we can't do that because of the bishop, but we do this. Maybe we check right here. Probably not. Maybe we just do something like this and castle. Then once we castle, maybe we can start to consider playing this F move, since this bishop does not really have this check square. Okay, so activates and can't really do anything though still, so Whoa! What just happened? Oh, well, I think my opponent might have just had to leave. Hmm. Well, um, hmm. Okay. So, well, that was weird. Here, I'll cut this out and I'll just get to the analysis real quick. All right, everyone, welcome to the analysis of kind of a bit of a bizarre game. I mean, we can see here, according to the computer, that we played at 80% to my opponent's 72%, but just a weird kind of bizarre ending to the game. Computer says I played like a 1650, my opponent played like a 1450. That's not bad. We're finally gonna get a win up on the channel, which is really nice. And we're back up to 1486 rating, which is good. So we're recovering towards 1500, but of course you would rather win by checkmate. So let's see how this game was. I know that Caro Kann pretty well, right up, you know, most of the theory. Yep, this right here. And the reason you play this move looks a little weird to move your C pawn again, but if you don't, like, let's think about it. If you don't, like, where's this knight gonna go, you know? And if it goes here, you know, are you really gonna put it out here and then your queen can never go to that square? If this bishop comes out, you'll never be able to go after this weak. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't want the knight there. So a lot of people will simply just push that pawn, freeing up this c6 square for the knight. And then they'll never take you know, as your opponents get better, they're never gonna just do this for you because this bishop is the hardest piece to really develop in the opening. In some cases, there are some Caros where that's not the case. You just get an early pin on the knight, but not in this one. So, okay, opponent a3 is excellent. I haven't really seen this move before. I thought this would be too slow and that it wouldn't really be that good. So I actually, because of that, played a slow move myself because I thought, well, why not, you know? stop the really. There's now no good squares for this bishop to go to. And then opponent played b4, which I was like, okay, that simply can't be right. But I didn't know which pawn to take. We'll see. And I only took 5 seconds to take towards the middle. It just seemed the appropriate response to kind of create a weakness here. And that's what happens. And it's even. So I bring my rook over. Apparently just kind of a bit of a wasted move. I was just a bit worried about, well, actually, you know what? I guess he can't play this and this at the same time. It had to be one or the other. But I thought maybe I could get out here and get in here. Take, yeah, no worries, no worries. And then it's amazing how one move, that's the best move. The next move, that's not the best move. But that's because apparently this knight move was a mistake. It was supposed to come out here, and I should have just attacked the integrity. Oh, because if it takes, then the queen gets out, and the knight is pinned, and it's just a better position. It's starting to get better. But I wanted to get my knight out. I kind of had that idea planned, and apparently I should have brought my queen out. I thought if I brought my queen, then you get the knight parked here, but I guess there really is no future for that knight since this f6 pawn is very strong. All right. Played the best move going back. Nice. Opponent does have an advantage. That was a blunder, though. Oh, wow. You missed an opportunity to win a knight. Oh, okay, because there's a fork. Yeah. No, I missed that fork. There's a fork right there. If you saw that in the game, leave a comment. And then opponent blundered again. And honestly, I don't know if I would have seen this fork again, but the opponent just resigned. So the opponent did resign for a reason, out of respect, I guess. But Stone Cold, if you're watching this, I'm not sure I would have found the fork, my friend. Well, anyway, let's play another one. Get a nice playing against Jimmy81 with the ooh, where's that from? Zimbabwe. Oh, awesome. Very cool. Well, we get another Caro Kann, so it's gonna be a bit of a Caro Kann special, huh? We get a exchange variation. And then this is kind of the short variation, isn't it? Is that what it's called? Or maybe not. So I tend to bring my knight out in these positions. Just seems like the best move. And this opponent's just trying to kind of blunt this bishop, which is totally understandable. So we're going to come out here. Now if we get this, then we're just going to take. Okay. So now we're going to activate the bit. We're going to activate the bishop. Opponent castles. So we do have this move. This is probably the most standard move, just stopping this nonsense. And not really stopping it, actually. Well, yeah, kind of stopping it because of the knight. So, yeah, let's do this. And then this way the knight can come out. Okay. We can bring our queen out here. That's actually kind of a little slick move, isn't it? Attacking the rook in the corner. So, honestly, let's go for it. Why not? Okay. That's kind of why not. Okay, so it's going to gain a tempo on the queen, I think, no matter what. So why don't we play this first? Then we're going to get this. Then we're going to get this. Yeah. Yep, let's do it. We're going to do this. And now we're kind of threatening this right here. I'm not sure what our opponent's going to do. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one option. Hmm. this, then you get this. That's the problem, because you can take and then take. Is that okay? What about take? Wow, this actually is going to require some kind. So maybe this is best. Take. Opponent would definitely take. So take. Opponent would definitely take. I would take the queen. Opponent would take the rook. I would take this. Attack the rook. Rook here, here, and then attack this rook. Is that enough? Is that enough or no? The alternative is going here and then do. You know what? For content, I'm going to do this. Opponent's probably going to take. I just trade bishops. I mean, yeah. You calculate all that for. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, let's do this. Maybe? Or is that not a good idea? Yeah, let's do this. Now we're getting kind of some vision here. It's probably, okay, I was gonna say what the hell. Okay. So, yeah, this is fine. Should we just castle now? I mean, honestly, it feels like we're honestly okay. So, get up here and then get in here. I think that's our. Okay, hang on. So, if we go here, it's probably this, right? Is that the idea? And then trade. What happens if I just castle and let them have a move, though? Do they do this anyway? What advantages do I get from playing this right now? Nothing really. From what I, well, it does allow us to jump in here and again, and that does create complications. So let's at least try that. Let's at least try that. Okay, so opponent's gonna let us jump in. So here, so I'm gonna attack. Did opponent just blunder mate in one? I guess so. Well, that was a good game, I feel like. I mean, you can't really complain about that. Let's check out the game review here. Caro Kann, OP, clearly. Might be the title of the video. 96%? I guess it wasn't that long of a game. 2,300 rating. I don't think I've ever seen that number be that high in my whole experience. Wow. Even a brilliant move. Look at that. One brilliant move. Wow. Wow. Holy. Poor Jimmy81 from Zimbabwe. Wow. Caro Kann exchange. Probably one of the most comfortable variations here. I know that if I start playing in live tournaments, everyone would just avoid this because I probably do play this line almost like a 2000 would. Now the thing is, I've got to improve in my other areas of opening. Well, I mean, I say this all as I make a mistake, of course. But yeah, I do already have the advantage though. Minus 0.31. Okay, so d6 is excellent. So bringing the queen there was good. I was hoping my opponent would just play this. I was actually wondering what the alternative was. I actually just didn't even think of just sliding the rook over. When my opponent did that, I was like, oops. But then I was like, you know what? It's really not that bad. We'll just come here. Ooh, going there right away and threatening to take and then go for mate. That's a pretty slick idea. So my opponent played pretty good idea there. Now I take here, and that was the best move. Now I thought, we calculated all this during the game and said it might not be worth it, but it's definitely content, I guess. But opponent just trades, which is normal. Now we set up the devious merging of the two greatest chess pieces. And opponent just goes back. I thought this was a mistake during the game, and I can see, yeah, we have the advantage. And bringing the knight here was good. I thought my opponent was going to see the threat, and I was super shocked. I thought for sure that when like, for example, I thought for sure, yeah, see, this is not a very good move, but I thought for sure we'd get takes, 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 and then mate. I did not think my opponent would just do that. So that's a brilliant move. So that's my first brilliant move in a long time. And yeah, opponent just blunders the game away and checkmate and won. So wow, 2300 rated. That feels really good. That makes me feel good. And we're back at 1495 rating. So we're basically finally 4 points higher than where we were at the beginning of this speed run. So wow, okay. Well, I guess the theme of this video is that the Caro Kann is overpowered. And yeah, like, subscribe, and comment. See ya.